Hit up Rose NBA on Twitter. If you need any sort of grind, he will be the man for you. Domination, Spotlight Sims, MyTEAM Unlimited, and even more. The link to his Twitter will be down below in the description. Yo, it is good, yo. It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, we are going to be going over the top 10 Invincible cards that we should have seen within NBA 2K21 MyTEAM that we didn't see. So obviously today we did get the new Invincible, obviously tiny point guards, Chris Paul, Isiah Thomas, and that's really who's been coming out of these packs. Stockton, Paul, and Isiah Thomas have just been flying out of these packs. Now with these 3 point guards, it got me thinking, okay, since this is the last content drop, who are some Invincible cards that we could have seen that we ultimately didn't see that I personally would have liked to see? Now before we dive into this any further, if you are new to my channel and have not yet, please consider smashing that subscribe button as we are on the road to 80,000 subscribers. Now the first guy, I know we got a lot of dark matter Giannis's, but this is the first guy that popped to my head, okay? When you think about Giannis Antetokounmpo, he won a championship, guys. This dude won a ring, okay? Why do we not have a point guard power forward Giannis Antetokounmpo or a point guard center Giannis Antetokounmpo? Honestly, I wish we would have got a Giannis Antetokounmpo Invincible card today that had point guard and center eligibility, and it would have been a championship Giannis, right? One where he's holding the finals MVP, one where he's holding, you know, the trophy. That's what I would have liked to see. I know a lot of you guys in the comments are going to be like, Ty, we've already seen a point guard Giannis. Right, we do have an out of position to Giannis Antetokounmpo, but an Invincible Giannis would have also been, a point guard Invincible Giannis would have been one of the cards that I'd have liked to see, especially if he would have had a championship type of card art. I think that would have been good for the game, and a lot of people would have enjoyed using that card, whether it's strictly for card art or whether it's strictly because he can run the point guard position as an Invincible card. I'm not sure, but that's just the first kind of card that popped to my head when I was coming up with these 10. Now, the second player that Giannis was number 1, the second player I'm going to talk about today is Kevin Durant. Now, again, we have dark matter Kevin Durant. I'm not going to sit here and gas and say we don't, because we do. We have the Team USA KD. We have the Invincible Kevin Durant. But here's the thing. We don't have a point guard Kevin Durant. And again, is Kevin Durant a point guard in real life? No, but that's not what I'm getting at, right? An Invincible point guard Kevin Durant would have been another card that's fun to use. And when it comes down to it, a lot of these cards that are fun to use in 2K, I mean, Kevin Durant at point guard last year in 2K20 was a fun card to use since he was out of position. Now, this is one maybe a little out there that you guys can disagree with, but an Invincible point guard out of position Kevin Durant point guard would have just been incredible to run. Again, maybe even if you wanted to make him a point guard center type of player, I'd have been fine with that, right? Just make him some type of Invincible Kevin Durant point guard card. Again, I think the community could have really used that. Now, Kevin Durant's not as bad as Giannis just because Giannis won a title, right? The Giannis is one that really gets to me. It's like it was a perfect opportunity to give us another Invincible Giannis, and it just didn't happen. Now, the third guy that comes to my mind as far as Invincible cards that we would have not should have gotten, but that would have been a good card to get, is Thon Maker. I mean, if you look at this, he came out in the first fan favorite set. If you guys are forgetting who that was with, that was the first fan favorite set with this Jonathan Isaac Galaxy Opal card. You want to know how long ago it was? This was the best LeBron James at that specific time. He didn't even have the XM base at that time. So it's been a long time ago for Thon Maker, at least I think 3 months ago. And here's the thing, this card is still to this day a top small forward in the game. So you don't even have to make an out of position Thon Maker. Just a small forward, power forward Thon Maker would have been incredible. Again, in 2K20, we obviously had the Thon Maker that could play point guard. And if you made that, I would have used the card too. But an Invincible Thon Maker card is the third guy that came to mind. To my mind, as just not necessarily just a fun card to use, but a fun card to use that would have gotten people excited about the content drop today. Because look, John Stockton, whoever else you threw in the packs today is just to lower the pack odds. That's fine, but if you'd have just thrown in some headliners, that would have really made the big difference. Now, you guys can call me biased for this fourth one, but I'm not alone. I was not the only person that wanted to see a Invincible Karl-Anthony Towns card. There were people on Twitter that wanted to see it as well. And more than anything for Cat, I wanted to get a Cat with a better release. Now, I know that probably wouldn't have happened even if we did get the Invincible Karl-Anthony Towns. But here's the thing for Cat. This card came out a decent while ago. Again, with you see he's got decent stats, but yes, they could be improved a little bit badge-wise, 55 Hall of Famers. So this card still to this day is a very good card in the game. Cat is still very solid, but again, he came out a while ago. I'm not exactly sure how many months. I'm thinking close to 2 months ago. Like, he came out a while ago, and just an Invincible Cat would have been a fun card to see, because we have Jokic, we have Embiid. And I think after that, Cat's the most deserving center in the league to get an Invincible card. So maybe it's a little me being a Cat fan bias, but that's another card that I would have liked to see get an Invincible card. The fifth card today that I'm going to talk about is James Wiseman. Now, the reason I would have liked to see an Invincible James Wiseman card is because here's the thing. If people weren't able to grind the spotlight for James Wiseman, which a lot of people were not able to do, then they're stuck with this Galaxy Opal James Wiseman, who's okay. I'm not going to say this Galaxy Opal James Wiseman is bad, but he's the best auctionable Wiseman we have right now. And so when it comes down to it, to a lot of people in the community, we want a good version of the card, the best version of the card. And this Galaxy Opal isn't doing the job with 41 Hall of Famers. This James Wiseman's absolutely incredible, and he only has 52 Hall of Famers, and stat-wise is not nearly perfect. So if we got an Invincible James Wiseman, you can't even sit here and tell me he would not be a top 2 or 3 guy to run at that power forward position in the game. So not just as far as a fun card to use, but I mean, James Wiseman, if he develops, I mean, he has the potential to be special. So I mean, we got an Invincible LaMelo, an Invincible Ant. I mean, James Wiseman, as far as that rookie class, was that third guy in that top tier. So when we're looking at guys that I thought could have maybe potentially got an Invincible card, James Wiseman was not out of the question for me. Now I'm going to throw it back to 2K20 again for this sixth card that I'm going to talk about today, and Dino Radja. This is the best Dino Radja we have. If you search Dino Radja Dark Matter, you're not going to find it, because the Galaxy Opal Dino is the best version of Dino we have. Now, is this card terrible? No, he's fine. Like, objectively, he's okay. He's not terrible. But the problem comes when you talk about Dino. The biggest problem comes is the fact that he's not he's not nearly what he should be. Remember, Dino was a top card to run at the end of last year. And this Dino, yes, he's got a good 3-ball and only an 85 driving dunk. But look at the defensive stats. I mean, you're looking at an 80 steal, an 89 interior, I think a base 90 speed, 88 lateral quickness. Like, the card is far from perfect. So that's the problem I see with Dino. It's like, what hurts 2K when they give us an Invincible Dino? And if you want to look at Invincible cards, like, I mean, guys, we got an Invincible Ant, we got an Invincible LaMelo Ball, we got and fake Invincible cards that aren't actually that amazing in real life. Like, that's my problem. I mean, we got an Invincible Jimmy Butler. Like, what are we doing? We're just handing out Invincible cards. Yes, Dino is not necessarily a top all-time player, but he's a fun card to use, and a card that if he would have gotten a Dark Matter Invincible card, I think a lot of people would have used. Now, the next card is one that means a lot to me. The seventh card I'm going to talk about today means quite a lot to me, just because I'm a big fan of this guy right here. I'm trying to find the man with the plan. I grinded for him. Where are you at? My mans. I can't even find him. Is he? I swear he's a Dark Matter. I'm pretty sure I grinded for him. Maybe he's just out of contracts. I don't know. I can't find him right now. Here he is. This man right here in Elgin Baylor. Look, Elgin Baylor is a top 30 player of all time. If you disagree, I want to talk to you. Like, this dude is just absolutely fantastic. I don't know why I applied Brian's Dream Shake to him, but this dude is he was absolutely fantastic. And rest in peace, Elgin Baylor. But he's just a deserving card of getting an Invincible card. I firmly believe that. And then whether they wanted to give out a locker code for Elgin, I don't care what they did for him. But I shouldn't say I didn't care. I don't care how they approached it, whether they put him in packs, whether they put him in a locker code, whether they, make him another reward. But my thing is, I think he was deserving of an Invincible card. That's what I mean when I say, like, I don't care how they implemented the Invincible Elgin Baylor. And that would have been a good thing for 2K to do, that we didn't get Elgin Baylor. And honestly, the last Elgin Baylor we had wasn't auctionable. So even if they wanted to make an Elgin Baylor in 2K that was viable, I'd be totally behind that as well. So he's just the next guy, the seventh guy that I think 2K could have definitely added into the game, and it would have been a good addition. Now, the eighth guy that came to my personal mind is Paul Pierce. Now, I know we've got a lot of Paul Pierce cards in 2K, and we got obviously the Domination Reward Paul Pierce in here as well. But Paul Pierce is another card I'm going to talk about. That, I mean, could he have gotten an invincible card? I personally think so. I mean, yeah, I do. He's a domination reward dark matter, and that's fine, right? But Paul Pierce was incredible. He was absolutely incredible, and he is a card that, would anybody have used his dark matter invincible card? No. But if he came out with a bunch of other cards today, like the ones that came out, and maybe like a point guard Giannis, I think he would have been a solid addition. Not necessarily the most eye-catching person, not necessarily the most like intriguing player for most people, but I think he deserved an invincible card just for what he has done. Now, my ninth guy here that I'm going to talk about is one that's a little out there, but when it comes down to having fun in 2K, if this card would have gotten an invincible card, or if this guy would have gotten an invincible card, I would be speechless. I mean, on next gen specific, this card would have just been the most overpowered thing we had ever seen in the game, especially if he was that shooting guard small forward. Like, 2K never made an Invincible Manute Bol card, but if they would have, just think about how cheesy this game would have been. Now, I'm not saying they should have, but what I'm saying is if you want to play this game for fun, imagine a Manute Bol with 99 speed, with 99 lateral quickness, with a 99 3 ball, 65 Hall of Fame badges. That would have just been a freak of nature that I would have liked to just see what he did on next gen more than anything. Current gen, he still would have been fine, but next gen, the dude would have just been fantastic. And then you go, right? You run who at point guard? Let's say you run Giannis at point guard, Manute Bol at shooting guard, Bol at small forward, Yao at power forward, and then you got Taco at center. Like, you're looking at an average lineup height-wise of 7'4" across the board, 7'3" across the board. That would have just been ridiculously fun to see and to have in the game. And so that's just another thing that I thought of when creating this list. And last but not least, at number 10, Clyde Drexler. The dude's absolutely fantastic in real life. Again, this Clyde's fine. I'm not going to sit here and say this Clyde's fine, but I don't even think we ever got a Dark Matter Clyde. We got a couple Galaxy Opals, but the fact that we never got a Dark Matter Clyde is kind of disappointing to me. Would I have used the card? Maybe on Next Gen, if they would have given him blinders, because the Jump Shot 5 is super good on Next Gen. But again, just kind of a letdown overall of a card. I don't want to sit here and bash 2K for not releasing any of these cards. But when it comes down to the top, or the next 10 that I thought would be good for 2K to release, these are the initial 10 that came to my mind. Now, there's a lot of other guys that you could maybe throw in this mix, like a Bob Pettit, for example, is a card that, I mean, heck, if they had given Bob Pettit a good base, let's say they would have given him Ray Allen base, who would have been an incredibly fun Invincible just to throw in the token market. Why not? Why not throw an Invincible Bob Pettit with the Ray Allen base into the token market? I don't have the answers for you. I think that would have been, a good thing for 2K to do. But these were my first 10 that came to my mind. Obviously, headlined by the point guard Giannis MVP card, or Finals MVP card. That had just been a fun card to get. But that is going to wrap it up for the video today on my top 10 Invincibles that we should have seen in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM. When you guys think of Invincibles that we didn't get that we should have, who comes to your mind? Let me know that down below in the comments, because I'm very intrigued to see who you guys would have liked to see. Hope you guys did enjoy. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you are. Do it as always, man. I love you guys, and have a blessed day.